Welcome to Sportpen. Let's head straight back to October 6th, 1960, for a fascinating look at Game 2 of the World Series, Yankees and Pirates. Forget the final score for a second. We're here to really, dissect the critical plays, the individual efforts that really define this specific game.
Exactly. We've got a pretty detailed account of the action here, and the goal, I think, is to understand how those key moments built on each other, how they shaped the outcome, and highlight those performances that were just exceptional, the ones that really stick in your memory from this game.
Absolutely. And to really get this game, you have to remember what was on the line. The Pirates, they actually taken Game 1, so suddenly all the pressure was, squarely on the heavily favored Yankees, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It was a real clash of expectations. You had the dynasty against the hungry underdog.
That contrast is so key. The Yankees, they were the dominant force back then. They just couldn't afford to go down 2-0. That would have been huge. And for the Pirates, this was their chance, a chance to prove they really belonged on that stage against the giants of the American League. A second win, that would have sent a massive statement.
And this game, it certainly had its share of surprises. Some may be more welcome than others for the home crowd there at Forbes Field. We'll be digging into those unexpected turns and trying to recapture how the fans, the commentators, how they experienced it all.
Right. And ultimately, we want to step back a bit, see what broader stories, what themes maybe emerged from just this one game. What did it tell us about these two teams? Their strengths, maybe their weaknesses? Did it offer a glimpse into where the series was headed, or even the sport itself? Okay, so let's dive into those pivotal moments, the ones that really shape things.
Let's do it. So the Yankees bats, they kind of woke up in the top of the third inning. Richardson gets a leadoff walk. And you know how a leadoff walk can just change everything. Turley moves him over with a sac bunt. And then Kubek comes through, singles to center, Richardson scores. Boom. Yankees 1-0.
That early run was just crucial for the Yankees, wasn't it? After being pretty quiet in Game 1, they needed to, assert themselves offensively. And it's interesting, like you said, how something as simple as a leadoff walk can just ignite things. Puts pressure on the pitcher right away.
And they kept it going. Kubek then swipes second, some aggressive base running there, and McDougal follows up with a double to left. Kubek scores. Just like that, it's 2-0 Yankees. That had to take some air out of the ballpark for the Pirates and their starter, Bob Friend.
Oh, it definitely shifted the momentum. Friend had navigated the first couple innings okay, but that quick 2-run burst, it forces the Pirates to play from behind immediately. Makes you wonder how a pitcher adjusts mentally right after that happens.
But hey, the Pirates almost answered right back. Bottom of the second, 2 outs. But they had Samoli on third. He'd walked and stolen second himself. Then Mazeroski hits a double to left, tying run just 90 feet away.
That was a huge moment, a real chance. But then, Friend, the pitcher, he's up next and he pops out to first. Thread over. That's one of the spots, Getting even one run there could have changed the whole early feel of the game. Really highlights the pressure to capitalize with 2 outs, especially against a team like those Yankees.
Okay, fast forward to the fourth. Yankees keep adding on. Richardson singles again. Then he shows that speed, steals second on a pass ball tough break for Burgess behind the plate, and Turley helps his own cause, singles to left center, Richardson scores. Now it's 3-0.
See, again, the Yankees manufacturing runs, taking advantage of mistakes, showing that all-around game, that stolen base. Yeah, helped by the pass ball, but it put Richardson right there to score easily. Shows how, multiple parts of the game feed into runs.
Pirates finally break through in their half of the fourth. Samoli gets a single, Burgess follows with another single, then Maris makes a mistake in right, an error lets Samoli get all the way to third. Hope grounds out to short, but Samoli scores. Okay, 3-1. A little bit of life for Pittsburgh.
Exactly. They managed to, scratch one across. But the Yankees, they answered right back, and in a big way in the very next inning. This is where the game really, really started to turn decisively.
Oh, you are so right. Top of the fifth, 2 outs. Maris is on first after a walk. And then Mickey Mantle absolutely crushes one. 2-run homer to right field off the lefty green. Suddenly, bang, it's 5-1. Just a massive momentum shift right there.
And what's amazing about that one, Mantle, the great switch hitter, he hit that one batting right-handed against the lefty. The accounts from the time that they really talked about the distance on that thing, said it was one of the longest ever hit at Forbes Field. That kind of power display, it can mess with the pitcher's head, the whole team's head, really.
Yeah. And then came the 6th inning. Oh, boy. Just an offensive explosion. 7 runs for the Yankees. It starts with a triple by Howard, then an RBI double from Richardson. Then Richardson scores on another pass ball. Okay, so Levine comes in for Green, but it didn't matter. McDougal singles and Kubek. Berra hits a 2-run single, scoring McDougal and Maris. No, wait, it was Barra with the 2-run single, scoring Kubek and McDougal.
Easy to lose track.
Right. Then Skowron singles and Maris. Howard singles and Berra. Howard singled and Barra. And Richardson capped it all off with another RBI single, scoring Skowron. It went from 5-1 to, 12-1 in just one inning.
An absolute deluge, just relentless. The Pirates, they went through, 3 pitchers in that inning, just trying to stop the bleeding, but they couldn't find anyone. It really just showcases the depth, the sheer power of that Yankees lineup, how they could string hits together like that, the number of runs in that one frame. It must have been just staggering to watch.
But believe it or not, they weren't done. Top of the 7th, Mantle comes up again.
This it again.
Another home run. This one a 3-run shot, scores Kubek into Maestri. 15-1. Wow. Relentless offensive pressure.
Mantle, what a day. Just unbelievable. 2 homers, 5 RBIs. It's just a perfect example of how a superstar player can completely take over a game. Even when the whole team's hitting, that kind of individual brilliance just elevates everything.
The Pirates, to their credit, did manage a little something in the bottom of the 9th. Scored 2 runs. Christopher got hit by a pitch. Nelson singled. Samoli singled in Christopher. Then Nelson scored on an error by Richardson at second. Made it 16-3.
Yeah, it showed a little bit of fight, some determination, even when the game was obviously long gone. They didn't just roll over. But then a double play ended it. Final, 16-3 Yankees, a decisive win.
So let's circle back to some of those standout performances. I mean, obviously, Mickey Mantle. 2 homers, 5 ribbies. That's the headline, right?
Yeah.
Just memorable.
Without a doubt, just a monster game for Mantle. And Roger Maris, too, had a really productive day. 3 hits, scored twice. Always a threat out there.
And the pitcher, Bob Turley for the Yanks, went 8 1/3. Solid innings. Maybe not overpowering, but he controlled the game, especially with that huge lead.
Yeah, he pitched well, pitched efficiently. When your offense gives you that kind of cushion, you just need to throw strikes and let your defense work. He kept the Pirates quiet for most of the day.
But we're going to talk about Bobby Richardson again. 4 hits, scored 3 times, drove in 2, had a double. He was right in the middle of that offensive storm.
Richardson was huge, a key table setter, drove in runs too, just constant pressure from the top of that lineup. His hitting was relentless.
Elston Howard chipped in with that key triple and a single, scored twice, drove in 1. Tony Kubek, 3 hits, 2 runs scored. Gil McDougal, a double and a single, scored, drove 1 in. Even Yogi Berra, a single and 2 RBIs. It was just everybody hit for the Yankees. A really widespread effort.
Absolutely. A team-wide hitting clinic is what it was. You look up and down that lineup, almost everyone made a big impact on the scoreboard.
Now, for the Pirates, Don Hoke did have 2 doubles. He actually got their only RBI until that little 9th inning rally. Gino Samoli, 2 hits, scored a run, drove 1 in. Rocky Nelson also had 2 hits and scored.
They had a few guys put up decent numbers individually, but overall, they just couldn't string anything together consistently against Turley. Couldn't match that Yankee firepower on this day.
Thinking back to the stakes again, Game 2, after losing Game 1, that must have felt like a massive pressure cooker for the Yankees.
Oh, immense pressure. Falling behind 0-2 in the World Series, especially for that team, the team expected to win it all. That would have been a huge psychological blow heading back to Yankee Stadium. This win wasn't just big, it was vital. Absolutely vital for them to sort of regain control.
And that backdrop of the rivalry, it's just so good. The perennial champs, the Yankees, facing these Pirates who were just, itching to prove they belonged. The expectations were just miles apart.
Exactly. The Pirates were kind of playing with house money in a way. Every win against the mighty Yankees was seen as this huge achievement. For the Yankees, anything less than a World Series trophy was, a disappointment. That was the expectation.
Okay, biggest surprises. I think just the sheer scale of the Yankees offense has to be number 1. 16 runs. After getting only 4 the day before. That's just a wild swing.
Astounding is the word. You could tell the commentators were almost taken aback by it, that sudden, overwhelming firepower, especially that 7-run 6th inning. Just complete turnaround from Game 1.
And Mantle's power display. Those 2 homers, especially the one they said went clear to dead center. The announcers were practically speechless about the distance.
Yeah, that center field shot, especially batting righty, that instantly became part of baseball lore. It's the kind of hit that becomes like a defining moment of a series,
And the fact that there were 32 total hits, a new World Series record. The announcers kept bringing that up. It really just tells you what kind of offensive game this was.
It does. I mean, even though the score was lopsided, both teams were hitting the ball. It wasn't just the Yankees piling on. The Pirates got their hits, too, contributing to that record.
The struggles of the Pirates pitching after Friend left were also pretty surprising, I thought.
Yeah.
Using 5 different guys. And none of them could really slow the Yankees down.
They just couldn't find an answer, could they? After that third inning, the Yankees just kept attacking relentlessly. And those 5 walks the Pirates pitchers issued, that didn't help either, just giving the Yankees extra chances.
Yeah, and just the stark contrast. Game 1 was close, hard-fought. Game 2 was an absolute blowout. You just don't always see that dramatic a swing from game to game in the series.
It really, really emphasizes how unpredictable baseball can be, doesn't it? Momentum feels so huge, but it can vanish or flip completely overnight.
And finally, the crowd reaction at Forbes Field. You could feel their energy early on, but as that lead grew, well, you could sense the deflation. Though, like you said, they did get back into it a bit during that small 9th-inning rally.
Yeah, they stayed supportive, which says a lot about Pittsburgh fans. But it's tough, right? Tough to stay loud when your team is down by that much. That late rally, though, it showed they still had that flicker of hope.
So what themes kind of emerge from this one game? I mean, the Yankees' incredible offensive power, their ability to just bounce back immediately after a loss, that was clear. The commentators kept hammering that point about their lineup depth.
It just reinforced that whole narrative, didn't it?
Yeah.
The Yankees as this offensive juggernaut. Even if you hold them down one game, they can just explode in the next one. They had that capability.
And on the Pirates side, maybe their resilience, even facing that huge deficit, pushing back in the 9th. They didn't just pack it in.
Right. It showed that fighting spirit. They refused to just roll over even when things looked hopeless. That kind of character, it can matter as a long series goes on.
The impact of just sheer star power, too. Particularly Mantle. His 2 home runs just changed everything. The momentum, the score, dramatically.
Oh, yeah. His performance was just exhibit A of how one dominant player can grab a game by the scruff of the neck and really influence the direction of a whole series.
And maybe just the sheer unpredictability of it all. Baseball, the World Series, that wild swing between Game 1 and Game 2 just highlights that, well, anything can happen on any given day.
It's a big part of why we love the sport, isn't it? You just never know what you're going to get when the teams take the field.
So this deep dive into 1960 World Series Game 2, it really does paint a picture of stark contrasts, doesn't it? And some truly unforgettable individual moments.
Definitely. The Yankees' offensive fireworks showed their power, no doubt. But that little late rally by the Pirates, even though it wasn't enough, it did offer a glimpse of their fight, their character.
And that record number of hits. It just emphasizes the kind of slugfest this game turned into, regardless of the final score being so lopsided.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about how fast momentum can swing in this game and how one player having a brilliant day can completely rewrite the story of a game.
And it leaves you wondering, what does this one kind of crazy high-scoring game tell us about the bigger picture, about the whole 1960 World Series and the legacies of these teams, these players?
Indeed. It just adds another really fascinating chapter to the history of that legendary series and the status of some of those truly iconic players involved.
Thanks for listening to Sportpen.